We got a crazy slab haul from eBay. I went a little overboard. Let's check it out.
Comically correct comics.
First of all, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the likes and the subscribes. I really appreciate it. I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I hope you guys are enjoying watching them. Secondly, we're doing some major renovations here at the house. I got a guy walking around on the roof. There's all kinds of stuff going on. We're actually moving into a new house. I'm going to have a new studio and a new man cave. I'm super excited for that. But in the meantime, it's going to be a little bit of flux over here. Some crazy stuff going on in the background, which is why there's the green screen in the first place. I can't wait to get just my wall of fame up with all my comics and just have a regular, background like a normal person instead of this weird green screen. But trust me when I say that this green screen is better than looking at what's actually behind the screen. So all that to say, let's jump in and look at some comic books. All right, so first off, we got Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1, CGC 9.0, and I've always wanted this book. This book has always been on my list with the Jim Steranko art, and I just love like the psychedelic colors and the psychedelic art. It's a Silver Age book. A 12 center, and it's just always been on my list and something I wanted in my collection. So when I saw it hit the spec list, because Nick Fury is getting his own show, Samuel L. Jackson is going to play the part, I thought this is the perfect time to pick it up. So I made an offer on this, and it was low ball, and I didn't hear from the guy for a while. I mean, half a day or whatever. So I made an offer on a different book, and guess what? They both accepted it. So I don't know if that's ever happened to you before, but it's kind of annoying because when you make an offer on eBay, I think it's good for up to 48 hours or something like that. So you could get, stuck with two different books, and you don't want to let another one get away either. So maybe sometimes it's best just to reach out to the seller before you even make an offer, to see if they're responsive or not. Anyways, this one I also put in a low ball offer on. It's a 9.6. Just a gorgeous book. The colors on this are just gorgeous, as you would expect from a 9.6. The only thing I see that I could fault it with is it has what I would call a wild miswrap. It's just a really bad miswrap, and you could see it on the cover there where the 12-cent price kind of goes away. The one from 12 cents is kind of not visible. And the interesting thing is I've noticed that across the board with these Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1, this one has it too. So that might mean that I'm pretty sure that's what kept this one from hitting the 9.8. But anyways, just super happy to have that book in my collection. I've never had a 9.6 Silver Age book before. It's just a whole different level of appreciation for keeping books in that condition. This book's from 1968. I mean, anyways, phenomenal book. Super happy to have it. Next up, it sounded like the guy just fell off the roof. Anyways, next up we have Amazing I should probably go check and see if he's okay. I'll be right back. Dude's fine. Didn't fall off the roof. Anyways, next up we have Amazing Spider-Man 194. And can you spot what's special about this one? This is an error edition. Can you spot the error? It's the little yellow, and I apologize if you can't see because of the glare, but it's a little yellow bar in the top, normally red Marvel Comics Group bar. That's not supposed to be there, and it's rumored that this was caught early on in the print run. And just looking at the available stock on eBay, because this is something that sells all the time. I mean, this is a very popular book. It's the first appearance of the Black Cat as Felicia Hardy. Just a super popular book right now. Lots of them come to market, newsstand and direct. This one is the direct edition, but Only about 1 in 400 or 1 in 500, somewhere around there, are the error edition. I've only seen one other example of this in my life, and it was a raw book that was incomplete. So to find it in super high grade like this, complete, already encapsulated for regular price, I was so excited. Jumped on it right away. It's hard to say what it's actually worth, because there's just no sales data to support it. There's sales of, this comic in this grade, but none of them have ever been advertised as error edition. So I'm putting the value somewhere around $900 to $1,000 for this grade. I think it definitely warrants that, depending on, considering how rare it is. So we'll see. I'd be happy to hang on to it, keep that in my collection. Next up, this next series of books here is all from my buddy on eBay. My buddy who has these listings ending at just weird times, like on a Tuesday morning or a Thursday night. And so a lot of his listings are just selling super cheap. So I went ahead and picked up a whole bunch. We've got Venom number 9. This is the Unknown Comics tan variant. CGC 9.8 is the first full appearance of Dylan Brock, Eddie Brock's son, and I really think that Dylan Brock has some potential in this series and in the Marvel Universe. So I went ahead and picked up 2 copies of this, got them both for under $70, and you can't really complain there. Next up we have Justice League number 50. Newsstand! Shout out to Beauty Comics. Alright, hey, you guys need to go check out Beauty Comics if you haven't already. He's got a fantastic channel. Anyways, Justice League number 50, the newsstand edition. You can tell because down here in the UPC box it does not say direct edition. The direct edition says direct sales. As a matter of fact, DC Comics say direct sales, and the newsstands just omit it. And CGC actually went ahead and notated it on the label. $6.99 newsstand edition. This one does have a higher price. It's $6.99, and usually CGC doesn't notate that unless you specify that it's a variant, and they recognize that it's a variant. Some of them they do, some of them they don't. Anyways, excited to have that. Picked that up for $240 at auction. And I think it's worth somewhere around $450 is what I would put it at, depending, based on the rarity, actual rarity of this book. I've only seen 2 copies of the newsstand ever, and I'd be surprised if there was any more in 9.8 condition. Not surprised if there's a whole bunch of newsstands out there, but in 9.8 condition, I would be really surprised. Because only recently did this become a hot book. It's the first mention of the 3 Jokers. So we'll see what happens with this one. July 2016 is one of the last years that DC ever issued newsstands in general. 2017 was the last year altogether. So it's got to be, on the low end of print runs for newsstands. If you want to know more about newsstands, I just did a video, and I'll put a link up here somewhere to that video that really goes into depth of all the nuances with newsstands, Marvel, Direct, everything like that. Next up, we have Spider-Woman number 1, Stany, Artgerm, 1 in 500 variant. Look at that beautiful virgin cover. It's got Spider-Woman on there. Just fantastic art, little headlight action there from Spider-Woman. And I got this because I've never owned a 1 in 500 variant, and I just thought it would be really cool to add this to the collection. Picked this up for $260, I believe. At auction, I think it's worth more, around $400. So we'll see what happens with that. Next up, thanks to my buddy again, Batman Who Laughs number 1, $40. Could not pass that up for $40 at auction. Just an unbelievable cover. Batman Who Laughs number 1, all black cover, just flawless. Not a single ding, scratch whatsoever. Just incredibly beautiful, good, high condition book. For $40, could not pass it up. See what I do with this. I might do it as a giveaway. and or I might start a collection of all black covers. I have kind of a theme going with all white covers. I really enjoy just a crisp, clean white cover. They're hard to keep clean. Same thing with the black. They're hard to keep in high grade because they show those ticks so well. All right, again, my buddy on eBay got 2 copies of Totally Awesome Hulk #1. First off, we have it in a 9.6. Both of these have not been pressed, and both of these are just dirty. They've got a little bit of dirt on the covers that could be easily cleaned off. But why the 8.5? Well, he had them both listed together, 9.6 and the 8.5 for $70, I think it was. Couldn't pass that up, especially with combined shipping for all of these. You know, you're only paying shipping on the one book. So this is the first appearance of Amadeus Cho as the Incredible Hulk, and he later becomes Brawn. And his Amadeus's first appearance, obviously, is Amazing Fantasy Volume 2, number 15. But this is his first appearance as the Incredible Hulk. So excited to have those 2 in the collection. Might crack and press and clean and regrade. I think they could hit the 9/8, but we'll see. So next, this book here. I never ever thought that I would have this book in my hands, let alone in my collection. It always was just unattainable, out of reach, could not justify spending the money on it. We're talking about Edge of Spider-Verse 2, the Greg Land 1 in 25 variant, CGC 9.6 signature series by Robbi Rodriguez in some awesome purplish pink ink that totally matches her outfit on the cover. And this book is just an incredible modern grail right now. First appearance of Gwen Stacy as the new Spider-Woman. And this is what happens when you place a lowball offer on an eBay listing thinking you'll never get it. I don't even know why I do that. I mean, the previous sale on this was $4,000 in this grade signature series. So I thought, oh, I'll bid $2,500. I'll never get it for $2,500. Then I'm sitting there eating dinner with my wife, and I get a notification on my phone, you got it, $2,500, pay now. So, I'm going, how do I switch up the conversation here at dinner and explain to my wife that I just bought a $2,500 comic book, and that was a good decision since we're moving and buying a new house right now. The conversation did not go well. So I had to move some comics around to pay for this, which wasn't a problem. And I was actually happy to do it in the long run, because what I ended up having to get rid of and let go of is my Amazing Spider-Man 300 CGC 96 Newsstand Edition. And I never wanted to sell that book, but it's peaking right now. Amazing Spider-Man 300 is peaking right now, especially in the newsstand, and this was a rock bottom price. So I can pretty much switch them for the same price, and this one is at its low, that one was at its peak. Well, I can sell this one when it gets back up to its peaking numbers, and then I can buy that one when it drops back down. And that's kind of the name of my game. That's how I do it with my PC and collection now, is when those books start hitting those really high values, sell them and get into something that is on its way up. And if you continue to do that over time, you just start adding incredible value to your collection. Rather than the alternative is just sitting on your valuable books, which is a great strategy too. But I'm not opposed to risk. I've always been a risk taker, especially when it comes to investments. The way I look at it is you've got to bet big to win big, and I'm not afraid to. So I thought this was a good trade, a good investment, certainly for that price. The crazy thing about this is that it is totally pressable. This has a pressable defect. It's down here in the corner, and I'll put a picture of it up here because it'll be too hard to see in the light, but there's just a non-color breaking corner bend down at the bottom. and that could easily be pressed out. That is the only thing holding this back from a 9.8. There's no spine ticks, there's no color breaking defects at all. And so in order to have this cracked, pressed, and regraded to maintain the Signature Series label, it would have to go to CCS. They're the only ones that will do it. If you crack it and resubmit it, it'll get a green label because they didn't witness the signature. So the only way to crack, press, and regrade a Signature Series book from CGC is to send it to CCS, which is CGC's pressing company. The problem with that is I've seen all over Instagram, I've seen all over the internet that people consistently get lower grades when sending in books to be cracked and pressed by them. And the question was, how likely is it? That's what I wanted to know, is how much of a risk is sending this into CCS to get pressed and regraded? You know, is it 1 in 1,000? Is it 1 in 100? Is it a 10% risk? Is it less than 1%? Is it unlikely? You know, just some kind of number to know, to make a decision on whether or not it would be wise to submit this for pressing to get a 9.8, because the price jumped to a 9.8. There's a recent sale for around $7,000, and so it would totally be worth it. So I called CCS and asked, what is the likelihood that it'll get damaged? And of course they couldn't answer that question straightforward. They said, you know, there's always the risk that anything that we do with pressing will you know, result in damage. We can't guarantee that there won't be damage. You know, just very cryptic, standard customer service language. And I thought, well, and I told them, well, I'm just trying to get an idea how much of a risk. Is it unlikely? Is it likely? Is it 50-50? And she said, you know, I can't give you any percentages. Again, same reasons. And I go, okay, well, I was really hoping that I would just get an answer of whether it was likely or not. You know, is this a high risk or low risk? And she said, well, let me put it to you this way. We press about 4,000 books a day. This is at CCS. And she said many of those books get pressed with no problems, and some of them have defects. So no help there again. I go, okay, so many of the books have no problems and some do have problems. So I couldn't get a straight answer, so I can't take the risk. I can't send this in, especially with the signature. I mean, what if the signature lifts off when they take it out of the page, or what if it gets smudged when they press it? The answers that they were giving me were not comforting, and it was not enough of a risk. I mean, if this came back an 8.0, I would be devastated. I couldn't handle that kind of loss right now. So I got to just keep it as it is, but it's just killing me because that little corner is so easy to press. It'd be so easy to press out, and it just would be so awesome if I could send this to someone else, you know, but they have a lockdown on the game because of the Signature Series thing. I would feel way more comfortable sending this to somebody on Instagram that has a good reputation to press this than CCS. So just the answers they gave are just crazy. But what about those numbers? 4,000 books a day that they're pressing? You know, part of me wonders if they're doing that volume of books, how could they take their time? How could they do a quality job? Like, no wonder there's so many damaged ones, is they're doing such a high volume they can't really pay attention to it the way that they should. And what kind of facility do they have that they're doing 4,000 books a day? I mean, it's mind-boggling. But more power to them. I would love to get you know, more information on that from them. Maybe do a tour of their facility someday. Anyways, guys, that does it for this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Follow me over on Instagram, where I do lots of free giveaways and some fresh content over there. Really appreciate you guys. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.